And as you know, Seesaw Skills have been around since last year. So we're going to start off by just doing a teeny review of skills because they've added something new called ratings, and it might get confusing, and we want to make sure you know what it is and that you can turn it off if you want or keep it on if you like it. So starting with Seesaw Skills, the reason we would do it is because those skills match up exactly with what's on our report cards. So if we can tag those skills before we assign something, not everything, but anything that's maybe summative that you want to show progress towards standard, if you tag it before you assign, then when they turn it in, you can see the work and you can just give it that rating of 1 through 4 right there in Seesaw. So then you will have all of that evidence when report cards come, or conferences, or both. And I think I just went over this whole slide. We have a slide deck, but we're not going to use it. It's mostly for you to go back because we've taken some screenshots of everything we're going to do, but we're going to take you through it live. Yeah. Anyone add anything to skills?
No, but I put the link to the presentation in the chat, so you guys will all have that. The only thing that I just want to remind you is this is probably the biggest important slide when you're using skills, is that you don't have to, and you probably should not tag every activity with a specific skill, only on selected activities that really show progress towards standards. So something that if a parent asks me, why is my student getting a 2 in this standard on the report card, these would be great things to show as evidence. So, and then the key is, the third star is to tag the activities before you assign them. So we're going to go ahead and show you right now. The rest of it's just live demo, and then we've kind of screenshot everything and we put it in the presentation. So if you need to go back to refer, we're also recording just not your faces, but just the shared screen portion of this, so that you'll have that as a recording as well.
Okay, so let's just dig into our Seesaw class. So first thing is, if I'm going to assign something and I want to tag skills first, I would go to my library. And I am just going to pull up a chapter assessment. And instead of pushing assign, I'm going to go in and edit this. So I've already looked at it. I've made notes, because on all of these math assessments, I think that Lindsay originally made, their standards are tagged. You can see that in the teacher notes.
I think some of the teacher group also did that as well.
Oh, good. Okay. I would edit it. And this is where you can see I have not tagged anything. I just made note of it to make it easier for me. But when I look at the report card, I don't see OA3 and NBT5. So this is where we make that little translation. So Jen made a really cute little, and she has it on one of the slides. Just every grade level has a Aries list that matches to the Common Core standards. And I want to show you what that looks like. This just happens to be our 4th grade class. So if I push on 4th grade, I have it up already, this comes up. So these are the NBTs and the OAs, and you can see what the report card standard is that it goes with. So those are really important, because that can get really confusing. So I can see that, well, let me go back, Jen, you're gonna have to help me remember. When I go in to tag skills, so OA 1 and 3 and NBT 5, I know this is math. So if I put math up here, it'll come up. And do you want me to go back?
No, that's good. That's a
OA
filter.
1 and 3.
So you're looking at
show them
4211. Yeah.
OA 1 and 3. So that's what I'm looking for, 4211. and the NBT 5.
Which is
would be
4.222.
So that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go back to my activity and I'm going to say that one and that one. Those are the two. And that's how I tag it. And I just push the check. Now, when I assign and save, you can see that 2 skills have been tagged now. So I would save it and then I would go ahead and assign it. So just a reminder, before you assign is a great time to tag the skills. So then once your skills are tagged and you assign it and your kids then do the work, let's look at that end and how you would give them a stars. So I'm going to go back to class.
And just to let you know, like the stars correlate, you can use the stars to correlate with standards, obviously 1 through 4. So 1 star would be a 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's kind of how the rating goes because we chose the 4-star rating, which goes with our progress towards standard.
Yeah, makes it easier. So this one looks like it's already been done. This is the chapter 1 assessment. So if I push on the gray bar, I can take a look at the ones that I have to review. So I think I will review Rachel's. As you look at this should look familiar to you. And you go through the slides. It's a good idea because the standard is here. So, you know, it's a good, you don't have to, but it's a good idea because there's more than one standard, what you would give for each standard or whatever's on that page. So I've kind of written it in. And then as you can see down here, ignore where it says rating right now at the bottom. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But since I had already tagged skills before I assign this, now when I pull up anybody's, this just happens to be Rachel's, I can say, oh, okay, so add those standards. I think that she has earned 3 out of 4 stars on that standard. And then the second standard, I didn't see mastery there at all. So she has not proven to me that she knows it. So I'm going to just stick with 2 there. And then I would approve it and give it back to her. I could always even make a comment as well. I'm going to go ahead and approve it, give it back to her. Okay. And now you can see that I've approved it. We're going to talk a little bit in a while about approving all, and that sometimes we do that. And then sometimes you want to grab it right back. And so we're going to talk about how to do that this time too. Okay, so as you look at activities and as you look at skills, one of my favorite parts, and this is not new, this was last year, is the progress. They have an activities view of progress and a skills view of progress. So I'm just going to change the date so we have something in here. And so I mean, this was not at the beginning of last year. So this is something they did in the middle of last year in the spring, and it was so helpful because I was literally writing it down on paper. So again, names on the left, you can hover over names and it can show you how many they have in draft form, how many are waiting, and how many are completed. Also on top, these are the names of your activities. And as a whole group, how many are completed, how many are in draft form, just to hover over. And then students have their little progress color bar, completion bar, I guess you'd say. So if I looked at all the kids, I would say, wow, well, Oscar's the only green one. So he's the one that's completed everything. So you can see in a little quick snapshot who needs more attention. If you see the tiny stars, those are the ones that I've actually tagged the star ratings, how many assignments they've done. So 3 assignments, and I've tagged three how do I say that, Jen? I've
Yeah, you're
tagged.
right. The last, it will show you, the color will show you the last progress towards standard that they got. So
Okay.
if they got a yellow and a red and the last one was a green,
you.
the color indicates their last, like on that kind of like trend, it
Right.
will always show you their last.
It's not an average,
Right.
which is what our report cards do too. It's kind of a trend analysis. So this is just activities view.
But wait, that's not trend on here. It'll always just show you the last standard skills.
Right, but you know how trend
assignment.
analysis
Correct. But I just wanted to
values
tell
that
you
last
here.
activity
Yeah.
more than any
Yes.
other. Okay, if you turn to, and again, you can choose what dates you want to look at. So if you want to look at, like if you're looking at skills and you want to change it to the trimester or a big range, I'm going to change it so you can see something in ours. Maybe August to today. And so this is the skills view. You still have students on the left, but then you have skills that you've tagged on the right. And this is super, super helpful. So this is just our sample class. So we don't have tons of assignments in here, but you can see if you hover, Rachel, on the last one, 3, and on the one before that, a 1. So 2 assignments are in there, 2 assignments that have tagged that skill. Yours, of course, will have bigger numbers and more assignments. Gray means haven't done it, haven't graded it yet. And then what's kind of nice, if you push on the student, it makes a little progress report that is printable, or you can copy the link. And these links go right to those actual assignments so they can see them right in your Seesaw class. So again, how I got that, I just hovered over the name and then clicked on the name and a little progress report comes up. In activities view, you can do the same thing, I believe. Let me look. Click on this. You can do the same thing, and their draft, they can go right to their draft from here and finish it, which is really nice. So progress and the ability to have a little mini progress report for each student, super helpful. One last thing is they have some filters over on the right. So sometimes you don't need to see everybody. Sometimes you want to just look at maybe math, and you can see the activities that have the math standards tagged.
Okay, that's your folder, though. Anything that you put in the math folder will come up there. The skills would be on the last filter.
Oh, but wait. Yeah, so this is anything in math.
Correct,
And
but
the
you
skills
had to
on
have
top.
put it, yes, yeah, it doesn't filter out the math standards. It filters out anything that you put in the math folder.
Which hopefully have the math standards.
Correct.
So we could go here.
But you might have some
We could just
formative.
have one
or-
standard we're looking for.
Yes.
And there it is. Yeah. So you can go down to one standard. Okay. And then student filter as well. So again, this is not new, but it's really, really important. So we thought we would just reinforce it. What is new is that rating scale. So let me go back to activities. And let me go to, well,
Let's go to daylight savings and just show them something that we,
thank you.
yeah,
Thank
let's
Let's get out of skills, because I'm so
Yeah.
have a skill mindset right now, but sometimes we don't want to tag skills. Sometimes it is just, building a background and it's not specifically on
It
a
could be
skill. So
more
let's just pick one
formative.
from here so I can show you. So we have, daylight savings time, perfect. So that's just a brain pop video with some questions and some activities. So if I clicked on this and I wanted to review one of these, I for sure did not tag any skills here, but you can see that rating, that new rating is there. So when we look at rating, just think of like effort or completion, but it's not directly correlated with our skills in our report card. So that's just important. And if, you know, if I started just seeing these ratings in addition to my skills, that would have really confused me. So we wanted to make sure you knew why that was there. So it's just completion, effort, nothing to do with standards. And yes, you can get rid of it, and we'll show you how, if it's bothering you, or if you don't want to use it, you don't have to.
And I'm going to interrupt really quick on the overall rating and with the skills. Students do not see that. So when we're talking about assessment only, I want to be clear that this is assessment information for the teacher.
Yeah.
And that's where comments and feedback, we're going to show you, come with adding that text or voice comment back to students. Students will not see the overall rating or the progress towards standard. So I just want to make sure that you know that. But this was response to Seesaw saying, hey, we want to give the students feedback. Like for us, we want to see who's completing work. And that's where that overall rating came from, just completion and effort for us to see. If a parent was asking, we could say, well, what we're seeing is that there's a lot of work unfinished or incomplete.
So I would, you know, if this was a real activity, I would just go through the slides. I can see that he completed that, and they completed that, and they put the X's where they needed to there, and they dragged and dropped here, and oops, they forgot the last one. So I wouldn't give them, you know, I might give them a 2 or a 3, depending upon, because this is really the most important page and they didn't complete it. And then I would just either, Jen, would you say approve or send back on this type of thing?
Depending on it, if it's critical for them to master that foundational activity, then I would send it back. If it was just a completion thing and you already met with the student or they demonstrated another way, you might just go ahead and approve it. Remember, this is just feedback for you as the teacher.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that is what the rating is all about. Now, let's say you don't want it. Let me just show you real quick how to get to it. You would just go to the wrench and you would scroll down to progress. And here, this is new right here. And we have it on because we wanted you to see it, but we can also turn it off. And that just means that when we tag skills, that's when those stars will be there. They will never be there for completion or anything else. So it's all or nothing. It's not per assignment or anything. I'm going to turn it back on for us. Okay. So let's take a look at an exciting, well, I thought it was exciting because it really always bugged me that when, you know, sometimes I would approve bulk items when it looked okay, when I saw the whole group, we've all done it. And then when I'm digging in that night or something, I'm like, oh my goodness, they completely didn't get it, or they didn't finish it, or whatever. Now you can send back approved posts and for them to redo and turn in again. Super great. This is how you do it. Let's just grab an assignment from activities. Let's grab rounding to the nearest 100. So let's see. Pretend like all these are done, but I want to look at Pam's. I can see that Pam was close to being done. This means it's approved. So, but I can click on it now and like, oh my goodness, I could just, this is pretty obvious why I'm sending it back, because one's empty.
So what Pam did on this is her teacher sent it back to her with a comment, and then Pam turned it right back in. And that happens all the time. So it's already been approved. It doesn't come up for review, but visually we could see that Pam had not completed it. So even though it's approved, they've now added this new feature.
So I've already given her a comment and, you know, said what a great job she did on the 5 that she completed, but let's see what this next one is. So anyway, she gave it. So now I'm just going to go to these little 3 dots down at the bottom. And you can see that that is now an option. I can give it right back to Pam. I don't need to put anything on it because I've already given her a comment. So it's going to show up in her to do. And maybe she'll listen to my comment the second time. Well, maybe not. So send back as draft is a new feature. Super, super helpful for those that have approved something that they want their kids to still finish or do over. Okay. Now for the exciting part. Kids, turn something into you. And the whole class hasn't been approved. And it's important, maybe you tagged a skill on it. And so you really want to give some corrective feedback or some actionable feedback to them, and you want them to see it right away. And so this is so awesome because before they didn't see your comments right away, and sometimes they never even looked at it or heard it. So I'm going to do this in live, and then we're going to switch to Jen because she's going to be the student side, and she's going to show you what the student sees after I give some feedback. So we're going to go to another activity. How about math measuring angles? Oh, I did put this one in the library. This is a good one for measuring angles, and I have tagged a skill in it already. So if I look here and I open it up and I look at this one. So Pam is ready for me to review. So I can see that, I did a ton of examples in class. We practically did these exact two in class. So like she has the right answer here. And then if I go to the next slide, that's my video of how to use the virtual protractor. And it goes through step by step how you move it. If she listens, she should be able to move the protractor and move it to all these angles and get all the right answers. So as I look, I can kind of scan. I can say, okay, D is off, F is off, I's wrong, and J. So 4 are wrong there. I don't want to give her, I need her, I need her to try again. I need her to rewatch the video. I need her to focus on D, F, I, and J again, and reach out if she needs help. So instead of just approving and moving on, I would leave a little comment. And I might say, oh, let me do it audio. These are so much faster. Hi, Pam, you did such a great job on the first slide. Those were so accurate. And then my short video on the second slide, I'd like you to re-watch that and really line up the bottom of the protractor in, along that angle, and pay attention to the two colored numbers. And remember to count up from the 0 when you're measuring that angle, not from the 180. I want you to try D, F, I, and J again and resubmit to me. And check. So I've given her a little corrective feedback. She can take action and she can give it back. So I am not going to rate this right now because it would really just be a 2, or I could rate it and change it later. Maybe I should rate it. So for that skill, she just, she hasn't mastered it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and send back. And when she opens her dashboard, she's going to see something a little different. And she's going to be able to access and I could have written it too, but my audio or my text feedback. So I am going to.
Kathleen, before you stop sharing, will you demo one thing for me? Will you go back into the wrench and turn off? I think that button only turns off the overall rating, but not the skills rating. But can we double check on it?
Sure.
I don't think it's all or nothing. I think your skills will still be there, but just the overall rating.
Yeah, I wish they'd put overall before that word rating, because they call the skills a rating scale too. Okay,
me too.
So let's just check.
Yeah, I just wanted to check before you popped up. Just show another student. Previous post down below.
Does it turn both of them off?
Maybe it does.
That's not I don't like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so
checking.
glad. I am so glad that that's why they didn't say overall rating. So you can turn it up, but I don't want to turn it up because I still want to tag skills.
Right. Maybe, did we already tag those? Can you X out of the top? Is there anybody
Yeah.
else still in review there or in draft? Maybe Jim?
Yep, it's gone.
Okay. Okay. So that's good to
Super
know.
good to know. I'm going to turn it back on.
All right. And then I'll go ahead and share.
Let me stop. Okay, yes.
All right, so I know it's 3:30, so I just want to show you what Pam sees now when she comes back in here. This is that new feature. She will see that she needs to finish, but before it used to come up and they couldn't see the teacher feedback. They had to flip back and forth in between tabs. And now you will see that at the top of her assignment, it's so cool. She'll be able to listen immediately. And if she needs additional listening, when she goes to slide 3 after she watches that, she can always click back on the speech bubble and listen and get her teacher feedback. So that is the brand new feature that they just added in Seesaw, so that the students have the constructive feedback right when they see the finished response. So they will see now it comes right back into their to-do. Before I had nothing in my to-do, I will see this in my to-do. I will also see in progress, and then I can see what I've finished as well.
So in review, the big 3 things, the new things are, you can send back approved work. You can give actionable feedback that they will see right in the corner very clearly, and send back to them. And that rating scale is going to be new to you. So as we just found out, if you want to tag skills, which I feel like we all do, then we can't turn off that rating scale. And we don't have to use it because it's just one more thing. But for those activities that we don't tag skills, the rating scale will be there. And if you want to tag it for completion or effort, you can do that. But it has nothing to do with the report card, only the skills do.
So we'll stick around. Please feel free to unmute and ask any questions, but we want to honor your time. It's 3:32, but we got 2 minutes late.
Oh my
start,
goodness,
so
I'm
we're done.
surprised that we got
We
that
did
done.
great.